and to report any non-compliance. And so what is False Claims Act? Can anybody tell me, we've gone over this quite a bit, anybody tell me what the False Claims Act is? Anyone? Okay, so it's a way for the government to get money back when somebody commits false claims for medical claims. And they ask for payment from the government when they shouldn't have been doing that. So it includes claims where services might not have been rendered and their bill are already covered under another claim and they already know that it was when they billed it. And is miscoding. Miscoding is not always a problem, but it can be if it's done intentionally. And if it's not supported by patient's medical record, and I always say this is the most important thing, for most things, if it's not written down, it wasn't done. So you always have to remember to make sure that your medical records support what you bill. So false claims are things that the provider knows or should have known were false or fraudulent, and they're not billing mistakes, as I said earlier. So this act imposes liability on anybody who knowingly files a false claim for payment under federal programs, or uses false record or statements to obtain payment, or conspires to defraud those government programs. And the state also has its False Claims Act. It's known as the Medical Assistance Provider False Claims Act of '97, and it again uses the word knowingly. Having means that a provider has actual knowledge of the information and acts in deliberate ignorance of it and disregards that information in order to fraudulently claim. And there's no proof of specific intent to defraud required. So this is a Class 1 felony if this occurs. And again, it's something that the provider did willingly and knowingly. And that also means that you can't claim that you didn't know because the information is very available. It's available online. So everyone should actually know about it. And if you're knowingly or concealing the facts that would make somebody be entitled to payment under those programs. And so we have to have a compliance program in place. And why do we comply? There's a penalty for not, and you're subject to civil penalties between $5,500 and $1,100 a claim, plus 3 times damages for the government. And every single claim is one claim, so it multiplies very quickly into a large number. It's also the law, and it's the right thing for us to do. So what's our responsibilities? And that's just make sure we're exercising good faith and we're doing what we're supposed to be doing in all our dealings and transactions, that we're observing all the laws and regulations that govern the federal programs, that we make sure that our medical records are complete and accurate, and we bill accurately for those claims, and that we provide accurate and truthful information on our transactions. If there's a problem, we are encouraged to speak to a supervisor or another manager, and you can also talk with the deputy health director, and you can report an incident anonymously if you know about it. We have a rule called the Whistleblower Rule, and it means that it's your duty to report wrongdoing if you see it. And we have an open door policy for the county as well as public health. And there will be no retaliation as long as it's a good faith report. And so we have our policy, and the county also has its whistleblower policy. And all those policies can be found on the intranet. The county policies are also on the intranet site. Most of these policies are under HR policies. Any questions about that?